Good morning. Happy Wednesday, hump day. I thought it was Thursday. I'm off on Thursday. What am I talking about? All links here. Make sure. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart's like a pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Good morning, everyone. I'm live now. Turn off. Turn on Do Not Disturb. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. Go over here. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Okay, live. Tune in daily. Hit the thumbs up button if you would. Sign up for the newsletter. Let us help you grow. Morning, T. Jassy. I've got to alter editing. I've got to alter the morning. I haven't looked, Travis. I have not looked. Might as well come over here. I'm editing the newsletter for today. And I do know, by the way, there is going to be a Trendspider sale starting tomorrow. But since Friday is optional for me, I'm going to promote it today. And don't buy until tomorrow. Morning, Scott. So I think I know what it is, but they haven't given me details. But it starts, I think, Thursday for President's Day. So, oh, did I put this one in? No, I didn't. Oof. And some high quant picks for the mining sector that have earnings coming up. And we're gonna open up this one. Open with, I found this article on Seeking Alpha. I thought it was interesting. Newmont, Freeport McMoRan lead material sector quant picks before Q4 earnings. XLB. Let me just go and change this. Oh, I have to take a screenshot. I'm letting all my secrets out here. This is the sauce behind the magic. So now let's copy, and then we have to do. This is known as writing a newsletter. So, and then down here, subscribe, share post, and paywall at the end. So you don't miss anything because the paywall's at the end. That allows me to offer commercial-free podcasts. But it's going to be a big show. I didn't realize I'd put that in the notes. So, interesting little bit. I don't know. Am I going to go off the notes? I've got these up. And Trendspider still doesn't show the sale. But And yeah, there's some numbers coming out. PCE, I think, is coming out. There's also some retail sales, I think, December PPI. And then the retail sales and current account reports will land at the same time. So, here's a technical analysis of Nebius. Let's see. James is pretty good. I need to catch up with him. Nebius, I don't know. Has he been patient enough? I mean, you had the golden cross here, but it hasn't taken off. Your Bollinger Bands are cinching up. He might be right. I mean, he very well might be right on that one. I own Nebius. What does he say? Let me see. There's room for Nebius to run over 150. I mean, he's up 12% since he bought it last time, December 10th, since he ranked it. So that one's interesting. I have that one in my Roth. It just kind of sits there. So let's see. News. Earnings snapshot. Oh, Citigroup came in. Falls short, and it's up 1%. I wrote my thesis on this one before the earnings came out. Let's see. So here is the thesis on Citi, the top 2026 stock from leading bank analyst Mike Mayo. 4-hour algorithm has you still in and on solid run up on the bank, and it wins 57% of the time over the last 24 months. Has you in around 100. It's at 117 before earnings. A solid gain if you didn't want to hold through. And after earnings, you're at 118. Morning, Camilo. So yes, it is still a solid stock. And that analysis hits perfectly. Okay, let's open up some open with Google Chrome. I found a video last night that I found super interesting. I've been watching it. I mean, I will call him grandpa because he is a grandpa. He's 80-something years old. Shocking to me that he he has a fucking Discord. I don't know how to even get into Discord. This guy runs a freaking Discord group. And TTMI is really good. I will talk about it in hushed tones, Scott, just so you're aware on the podcast. I will talk about it in hushed tones. Let me get to his. There you go. That's his top 2025. And they did really well. So I kind of wanted to listen to him. And I'll have my analysis of that one. We will be going over energy transfer as a look at energy transfer because I saw this article from Dividendology, I think his name is, and it's a list of undervalued dividend stocks. I'll give you my thoughts because I'm not a huge fan of, well, I'll give you my thoughts because I liked it, then I didn't, and then it was what it was. This is my purchase of Alpha Picks. Let's see. During this time, I show you kind of how I went through and picked them. Because Alpha Picks is just blowing away. I mean, that's three things. It's up 5.22% year to date, nearly tripling the S&P.
11 of the 13 picks since June are positive, 9 of them more than 10% since June. The portfolio over 1 year is up 47%, whereas the S&P is up 20%. I mean, do I need to say more? Probably not. But this store and then the Trendspider store. So we're going to have, it's going to be kind of chart heavy today, if you will. Let's see. Producer price index comes in a little hotter. Rose 0.2%, matching the consensus and accelerating from the prior months. Uh-oh. Inflation. Did Sharon say something and then pull it back? I see message retracted. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Markets cared a little bit. I mean, not much. Let's go to a 1 minute. I mean, let's see. Not much. I mean, at 8:30, the NASDAQ closed, triple Q's closed at 623. You're at 622. What do I think of this day? Let's go to a 5-minute chart and let's see. That's my guess is that 621 from the gap down probably holds today. I mean, those bank earnings were good. So, I don't know. Is today good or bad? I think you're going to have to see at 9:30 how the market opens up and how it treats it. So, I think it'll be interesting, but I got a big show, so we're going to get into this. Let's go back to the 4-hour on the Qs because you still do have some semblance of confirmation. So Trendspider has the Ichimoto Moko. I have not used them successfully, Travis. So, and it's funny because I did this, I posted this yesterday, the education section, which we don't need to listen to that. So it's basically, I'm going to update this with the education section, but this is from June 2023. And this is from July 2023. So they were some of my first paid newsletter posts. And you'll go back there and look. My setup has not changed. What has changed on Trendspider is some of the workspaces that I use have some of those other indicators. And so probably 95 to 99%, I'm on this workspace for my own personal use and the podcast use. So when I'm on this workspace, I have this setup. It is just candle. I think, what do I use? Candle. I use bars. I use moving averages. I use the MACD. I use the RSI. I use Bollinger Bands. Horizontal lines, volume by price. It's all kind of in there. And I've used them, Ichimoku, but I've never mastered them. And I always thought, so the best explanation I can tell you is, I prefer Bollinger Bands over the Ichimoto by far. I think Bollinger Bands just sit. They kind of fit my investing and style a little bit better. But I kind of grew up in that realm of technical trading is astrology, where charts were really just for the day traders being risky. And it flipped around, I'd say 2010, 2011, somewhere in that neighborhood. I started using charts, and I wasn't heavy in. I still had a job. I didn't have all day. By, I'd say the year, I started working at Earthlink 2007. I'd say by the year 2013 to 2014, I started learning charts. And by learning, I mean, I would take a month. And I'll kind of go into this in the new education section, but I started picking an indicator, and I was like, okay, I'm going to use this for a month, and I'm going to do this. I've settled on this setup. And so when I went in 2020, when we were on the hunt for a new charting program, because Fidelity Active Trader Pro, which was what I used for years, just when COVID hit, I mean, it was clear you needed a charting program and a strategy. And that's where we developed the 4-hour algorithm. That's where it kind of came in. And me and my buddy Steve, we left Earthlink at the same time. So that's the story behind the 4-hour algorithm, how it got in there and stuff like that. So when people ask me, have you used this indicator? Most likely, if it's popular, yes. The answer is yes. But do I use it today? I mean, again, I go back to this post of my Trendspider setup. It looks almost identical. I'm pretty sure it is identical to what I have today. And it's because in 2020, when we developed that 4-hour algorithm, we kind of said, okay, what indicators do we like? I think the volume by price came in later, and that was the one that I was like, holy shit, I love these shelves. They kind of work. They fit into my system. I think that's the only thing that really came in. And I really leaned in heavily, I think starting in 2022, to the horizontal line kind of thing. And I believe that over the past couple of years, it's probably weighed heavily in mine, because like a stock, like, I mean, let's just take Amazon, for instance. Amazon, for instance, is a stock that you hear a ton about. It is a Mag 7 stock. But if we go back to 2021, again, almost 5 years ago, we were sitting at 188. So it's not like the move to 240.42 right now is an amazing move. And if I just put a horizontal line in here, you know, at the 240 level, this was January of last year. So for 1 year, you've done squat. Whereas the market last year was up 17, 18%. So I love the horizontal line. I you know, all the other indicators just kind of give me, and these are my support and resistance. And you'll see this a lot in today's newsletter and stuff. But that's when you ask me, have I used it? I know of them. I know what they do. They just never fit into my, and like you said, you can't use it with the Bollinger Bands. I mean, that would be for me, Travis. If I heard somebody telling the Ikimoku candles, I would, the cloud, I would go over to Trendspider, and this left portion tomorrow, starting tomorrow on their sale, they're going to have 52 training sessions down here, 52 per year. That's where I would go and say, okay, I want to learn this. Can you teach me? Rather than me, you know, I learned on YouTube. I learned on, you know, by just, you have AI today. So honestly, if you were like, okay, have you ever used this? I'd go to Perplexity and I'd put it in and I'd say, you're an expert technical trader. Teach me about these things. And that's it. I mean, shit, you have so many tools today. But I would also look at Trendspider, because if you're the type of person that needs somebody explaining it to you and don't necessarily want the technology explaining it to you, I mean, this is just the golden thing. And they do offer, I think it's like $50. I mean, it's like $50 per session. And they give you 52 when they have a sale on this thing. So, but, yeah. So, okay, I've got everything open. Hopefully that helps, Travis. I don't mean to like tell you it doesn't work. I have used them. I just never. I'm an old dog, Travis. I'm an old dog. I'm just a guy that kind of set in my ways, and when I need to make a change, I'll make a change. But we'll see. Okay, let's go into this. Good morning, Larry, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, again, I haven't used it in years. So I don't even remember how to use it, but I know probably if I went in there and just looked and oh, okay, that's what I learned about this. That's what I learned about that. And that's why I hear, like, for instance, stochastics. I used to use stochastics a lot instead of the RSI because they respond significantly faster than the RSI. So they can tell you a move before the RSI has even started to move. And I just got out of it. I mean, once I stopped really kind of quick trading and really just trusted the process, then I was like, all I need is the RSI. So I got rid of the stochastics. But they're up there. I mean, I can show you. What don't I have? I have an altered MACD. I have stochastics that aren't up there. URSI, Ultimate RSI. I have the Gap Snake, which is up there. Volume, VWAP. Yeah, I have VWAP, but it's not shown. I use it every now and then. The BBKC Squeeze. Love that one. Used it before. Fair Value Gap. Love it. Love it. I have Seasonality Change. I have MACD, another altered MACD. There's a lot of them. In fact, I got to get out of the strategy tester so I can turn this off. But 4 hour, I have a 4 hour MACD entry, 5 pivot. I mean, I've got a lot. The Weinstein stage, volatility. There's a lot that's not shown. So, I've got a lot in there. But for me, 4 hour, Bollinger Band, MACD, RSI, and the moving averages. And they kind of, and in that article, the educational article on the newsletter, specifically this particular one, I go into, I think it was it's this one, my Trendspider setup 1 and 2. I go into why I use each one of them. And it's kind of timeless. I mean, this is not a, I'll update these every now and then. But this is the kind of the going back to it. So hopefully that makes sense. I love Bollinger Bands. I mean, how can you not? And if, John Bollinger, he's on Twitter and he responds. I've talked to him several times. Bollinger. This is the guy that developed it. He's a freaking legend. He's an absolute legend. And he responds. He's great. He's fantastic. He's talking about a base squeeze in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Same pattern, a bit delayed, following, not leading. And Ripple. And he's posting fucking TradingView, even though he's a Trendspider. This is good about old dogs learning new tricks. So Bollinger is an affiliate of Trendspider, and he sells Trendspider. But the guy loves TradingView, and just because it's got his setup in it, and he's grown so used to TradingView. So I think that kind of tells me, hey, when you find something that works, stick with it. And if the Ikimoku clouds, if they work for you, then use them. But for me, it's hard. Somebody may tell me, hey, where's this stock, by the way? AEVA. This just caught my eye. This was one that live, I said, hey, I'm going to set an alert. It got an alert to buy at 1735, and we're trading at 1964. So it's down 1964. Interesting. Okay. Let me take a sip of water. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way, if you're here. There's 8 people that have, 17 people in the live. So let's go. It's late. I got my housekeeper coming today too, so I've got to clean up for the housekeeper. Good morning. It is hump day. It is Wednesday, January 14th. I've got a lot today. So it's going to be chart heavy. It's going to be specifically earnings. Earnings have started. We got Bank of America. We got Citibank. We got Wells Fargo. We've got Taiwan Semi reporting tomorrow. We've got Citigroup. There's another one reporting tomorrow that Goldman Sachs reporting tomorrow that I went over. So I've got a lot. We've got alpha picks to go over. We've got a 4-hour algorithm, heavy on the 4-hour algorithm today to show you stocks that are trending and stocks that trade well in there. 2026 top stock and an energy. A look at 2 energy stocks paying more than 7% dividend. One I hold. One is identified as undervalued. So we'll do that. I found a video where a guy literally doubled a $600,000 account from May until today. And he gave his top 10 stocks from last time. He's using AI. He's just giving you his top 10 stocks going forward in 2026. So we'll look at that. I had a conversation with Gemini about it because I found it on YouTube. We'll give you everything of that stuff. We'll go over crypto and then, like I said, finalize it with earnings. Where are we in the market today? It's down slightly. PPI, if you go and look at some news, the producer price index came in a little hotter. What does that mean? That means inflation. That means interest rates should not come down if you have inflation. So on a year-over-year basis, wholesale inflation advanced 3% in November versus the 2.8% in October. Inflation's making a little run back. Does that mean that you get out of the market? The market's not telling you to get out. We're down 0.57. Again, if you're looking at just support and resistance, which will be a heavy one in today, you could probably look at like 600 as support on QQQ. And your resistance, 633. Very clear. Once up here in October, once up here in December. We've made a run towards it now. Are we going back up there? Your risk reward right now, if you were to buy QQQ, is at 622. Hey, the top side right now is 633. Do you want to buy that one, or do you want to wait for it to maybe make a push through it? If long term, buy it now. If short term, maybe wait. Again, patience in the market. So let's talk about, I'll start out with Alpha Picks. Alpha Picks is a data-driven portfolio. It's a fantastic portfolio, but just because it's so good. And there were so many good things about it yesterday. But let's start out with Trendspider, because I do want to talk about Trendspider. You're seeing the prices on the screen right now. But a little birdie told me a sale is coming up tomorrow for President's Day. So it's Wednesday. Tomorrow I am off. I am going to tell you, go to Linktree. Okay, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. The link is literally down below my head right now. And you can find Trendspider. Go there. They will have a sale. use my link in Linktree, go over to here and find a plan that makes sense. Okay? This sale will probably go on all weekend. Don't miss out. I'm going to bring up the 4-hour algorithm. Any of the annual plans, you get my 4-hour algorithm. Okay? I used Sidekick on yesterday's live on Substack on the newsletter. I used Sidekick to compare. Literally, I took the top 2025 tech stocks from performance and I loaded them into Sidekick. Okay? Sidekick is the AI platform. I loaded them up. And here, I loaded up these and I put in a prompt. I said, hey, analyze these top stocks and give me an idea of what stocks today in January of 2026 look similar to those stocks in January of 2025. It came up with it. Again, Sidekick, best AI out there. The second thing you're going to do is once you sign up, and remember, they're going to have discounted trials. I think it's going to be $5 for a 2-week trial. You get my 4-hour algorithm when you sign up for an annual plan, not the 2-week trial, but the 2-week trial allows you to try this. And they have something called the Trendspider store, which has strategies, scanners, indicators, and collections that you can import into your setup. The Legends of Investing. It is one of the greatest sets of again, strategy, scanners, and indicators. You want to trade like William O'Neill? You can. You want to trade like Mark Minervini? You can. Like Nicholas Darva, Peter Lynch, and FYI. Benjamin Grant and Warren Buffett are in there too. They've set it all up for you. It's the Legends of Investing. So don't miss out. And let's talk about how you're going to use Trendspider during 2026. Because again, I brought up Alpha Picks. This is a data-driven portfolio where you get 2 picks per month. You get one on the 1st of the month and one on the 15th of the month. And again, if you want to sign up for this, it's over here on Linktree. You get a discount when you sign up. Now, here's the thing. We get a new pick tomorrow. But there was an alpha pick yesterday, okay? There was an alpha pick yesterday that was chosen on October 1st. I probably mentioned it before, but it was up 22% yesterday. The October 1st, you're up 58%. It was up 22% yesterday. Absolutely sailing. For those people who say they haven't had a good pick in a while, this stock did nothing for almost a month, and then it started to creep up in November. Now, this is just a list of these stocks. Let me give you why I'm not perfect, okay? That particular stock that's on October 1st, I bought a good, on October 1st, it was selling for around $60, okay? I bought a lot of it. It dipped down to 52, okay, by the middle of October. And I did hear people complaining. What happened? Today, the stock is almost at 100. It's up. Now, I say wow, and I congratulate the winners, but personally, I played this one totally wrong. On 10-1, while live on Substack, because I go live for those picks, I bought a what I would say a mid-tier 5 figures position. Okay, nothing crazy for me, just mid-tier. The actual price that I bought, $58.59. On 10/22, the 4-hour algorithm. Again, I used Trendspider's 4-hour algorithm that I developed to buy this stock. It wound up giving me an exit. Okay, it told me to get out. With a I think it's like a 2%, 3% loss, something like that. So I trimmed that mid 5-figure position by 50%. Okay? Now I missed out on all of these gains on half of that money. The 4-hour algorithm since October has had 6 buys, 3 for losses, 3 for gains, and the gains far exceed the losses. Again, alpha picks with Trendspider, it's the best pair that you can have because let's just go over 3 things about alpha picks, okay? 1, year to date, you're halfway through the month. Alpha picks is up 5.22%, nearly tripling the S&P. Number 2, 11 of the 13 picks since June are positive. 9 of them are up more than 10%, and some almost 100%. Again, look at this list: 77%, 58%, 56%, 27%, 93% down at the bottom, 84% at the bottom. Again, that list is good. Number 3, the portfolio over 1 year is up 47% versus the S&P 20%. The people complaining, you're complaining about one pick that's down 18%. You're complaining about another pick that's down 4.5%. You're complaining? Again, if you want alpha picks, the one that I suggest is getting the bundle. I will go over in this episode about quant ratings, about how to look up the valuation of things. It's the bundle, because the bundle saves you $159. You can get the bundle right here. Save over $150. If you want alpha picks, it's the next one down. If you just want a 7-day free trial of Seeking Alpha, you can get that as well. Doesn't include alpha picks. But again, you do you, boo. Just decide which one you want. Because my alpha picks yesterday, the entire portfolio was up over 2%. Up over 2% yesterday. I am adding, remember, I don't use the official holding percentage. You'll see on the far right, when you go into the portfolio section, okay, you'll see a holding percentage on the far right. Every quarter, I try and rebalance it, but I sometimes hold far more than what they pick as the holding percentage. Okay, and FYI, there were 10 stocks in the portfolio, up over 2% yesterday. And I have many of them in an outsized position. Let's go over some of the year-to-date best performers. I'm going to just give you the best performers. POWL. This is one of the year's best performers, up 21% year-to-date. I've mentioned it before. Okay. CDE, one of the year's best performers, up 21% year-to-date. A mining stock. Another one that I know I've mentioned before because it's also a top 2026 stock, Micron, MU, up 21%. There's 3 stocks that year to date, halfway through the first month of the year, are up more than 20%. Clearly, this portfolio continues to outperform with overall portfolio. So when you give up on the portfolio because of one pick, my best advice, don't. I spent 9 months before I actually put money into this portfolio as a whole. And here's the video. Okay, this video, I bought $50,000 of alpha picks, how and why it beats SPY and the top 2 stocks. I go over it for you. It was recorded, I think, in August of 2023. It is still a very good video. You can see how I put it all on a spreadsheet, how I bought $50,000 worth. I have added more money to this. And just to give you an idea, 2 picks per month of the last 11, again, only 2 were negative. And you mix this with the 4-hour algorithm on Trendspider. So let's go over the 4-hour algorithm because I have this core portfolio and there are quite a few that are doing very well. This one, Roblox, okay? Let me give you an idea of how I use the 4-hour algorithm in here because this is a great example, okay? Right now, Roblox, over the last 2 years, you'll see it on the bottom right, there are full back testing results, okay? I will read them to you. 73% means if you traded this in the 4-hour algorithm, every white entry you took it over the last 2 years, there were 23 of these white entries. If you took it and traded it for each of the exits, you'll see the winners in green, the losers in red. You made 73%. If you bought and held this stock, you made 100%. Okay? But I like this stock under the 200-day. I like this stock under the 50-day. And so yesterday, it gave an entry at 76.92. Do I buy it? My answer would be no. Because Roblox, I know, is not a quality stock. It is just a one that moves quite a bit. But it's a hold in the quant. So for me, even though this was up 10% yesterday, it doesn't fit my personal strategy. But if you had this strategy and you like this stock, you would have bought it at 76. Today you're at 84. And now I will tell you, I like it a little bit because it's over the 50-day. And so when we've seen this one come back from under the 50-day to over the 50-day, it's gone on some pretty good runs. And when you look at the weekly, the MACD, again, using indicators, the MACD is down below the oscillator. The RSI is coming off a 31, which means it's oversold. But we haven't seen it turn around. It's got plenty of time to turn around to get back to its all-time high at 130. And by the way, if I just put a horizontal line across this line right here at about 140, you see right back here in November 2021, it hit that. You see right here in September 2025, it hit that. More than likely, this is a company that will again hit that. It needed to reset. A couple of others in the core portfolio that have buys in the 4-hour algorithm. Apple, 261. Don't miss this one. I love it anywhere below 280. 280 is the price that I will start trimming because I learned last year I sold at 200, I sold at 220, I sold at 240, and it ran up to 285. So at some point in time this year, I will sell it, but it will not be below 280. Am I adding to it? No, I've got plenty of money. I've got a significant amount, tens of thousands of shares into Apple. I don't need more. But I will sell it at some point this year at 280 to try and trim that position. Another one that does really well on the 4-hour algorithm, and I will put this in the newsletter for free, okay? Right down here, you will see this, 55% Cleveland Cliffs CLF, okay? It wins 48% of the time. This is a material stock with huge moves. This one regularly goes up to 20. Let's just put a horizontal line around $20. Look, it's hit that in 2021. It's hit that in 2023. It's hit that in 2024. The 50-day has started to move around. Your Bollinger Bands are cinching up. Your RSI is at 58. It's coming off of 47. Again, rinse, repeat. The 4-hour algorithm makes you 50. Again, we can go back and look at that. 55%. If you would have bought and held this stock, which I would never assume that you should, even though Jim Lebenthal on CNBC loves to hold this one. But if he held this for 2 years, he is down 31%. If he traded it on the 4-hour algorithm, he is up 55%. He loves this stock. And then another one that has been beaten down in the core portfolio that gives you an entry in the 4-hour algorithm today. Netflix. Is the downside over? Personally, I will tell you, I'd like to see this 9-day start to move up. You are up 1.3%. I'd like to see the 9, 21, and 50 moving averages start to trend higher. But the weekly indicators, if you look at the weekly indicators on this, okay, we talk about this. I talked about this Monday. When in doubt, zoom out. Go and look at the weekly indicators. You've got a MACD that's down below the oscillator. You've got an RSI at 32. It is completely oversold. The valuation seems to have reset from its highs to pull it back. Is it the end of this pullback? I don't know. It doesn't have confirmation. It's still well below its 9-day, and the 9 and the 21 are still moving negative. The 50 have not moved negative. If I were looking at this one and I would say, where's the absolute bottom? I would say 82. That would be where I would say the absolute bottom is. But with the Warner Brothers takeover hanging over its head, it could be an ongoing issue. So again, 4-hour algorithm with the bundle is the best way to head into 2026. And when you get Seeking Alpha, you get the top 2026 stocks. Okay? The top 2026. Here's an opportunity for you. AMD. Okay? Remember, this is a strong buy in the quant. The quant has a strong buy. It is significantly better ratings than it was. It is one of the top 2026 stocks, one of the only ones that's negative. And when you look at it in the 4-hour algorithm, they have an entry at $220. Where are you in pre-market? 217. Would I be buying up here? I have identified that 227 as a previous resistance level. How did I identify that? Well, we can just go back and look. We can go back and look at a weekly chart. Because if you look right there, it popped up there, okay? And we saw the MACD up there, March 11th, 2024. This has been trading sideways since November. Patience. I do think that this one outperforms. It's the top stock portfolio, by the way. The top stock portfolio so far year to date is up 6% since it was announced. That's just last week. We talked about Alpha Picks being up 5% year to date in 15 days. Just since last week, the top 2026 stocks are up 6% in 1 week. Congratulations to those that attended the event, but you can still get that when you sign up for premium. And if you want a free 7-day trial, go and get the top stocks. They outperform. But again, AMD, it's one of them. Strong buy. Now let's talk about energy, okay? Because I was reading this article from Dividendology, okay? And he says, here's 10 stocks that are undervalued in January 2026. And he goes over Visa. We know that Visa is under attack by the president for their swipe fees and credit cards, blah, blah, blah. But this one, Energy Transfer, this one has always caught my eye. And it was even way back when I was on FinViz and I just look up Energy Transfer and I scroll down here to insider sales down below here. You can see August of 2025, August of last year, there was the director, William Kelsey, buying millions, hundreds of millions, it looks like, of dollars worth of shares. And that was at, let's see, $17. Say $17. Where's it today? $17. So he goes over the reason why Energy Transfer is a strong buy. Well, let's take a look at it. Because you know what? I went over to Seeking Alpha and I said, here, Energy Transfer's a strong buy. Let me look at it. Well, this guy gives you 6 reasons to invest in the partnership. This was published on January 10th. Then I can go over here to Energy Transfer and I can look at the peers and I set up let's see. I need to go over here. I don't think I opened this. This is the newsletter that I typed out, and it has so much in it today. It has a ton. There's the top 10 reasons. And let's open up this one, copy link address, because I did a comparison of my energy play, and they're very similar. These are oil and gas transportation stocks, and it's MPLX. So, question for me, do I want to invest in a new energy stock, Energy Transfer, or should I just add money into MPLX? And that's the question that I have when I read an article like that and he says, okay, you should buy Energy Transfer. And here's the 6 reasons why you should buy it. Well, let me look at it and see what the difference is. Well, total return performance. Over the last 5 years, Energy Transfer actually beats MPLX. But when you pull in, and again, I've had MPLX for 5 years, but Energy Transfer actually underperforms. Now, the question is, on 3 years, MPLX is up 106%, Energy Transfer is up 76%. Both of them have a dividend, let's see, of 7.8%, 7.6%. So again, it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same exact thing. And when you look at the trading, let's say 52-week high, you look at that, let's look at the valuation. Valuation's about the same. Revenue growth, MPLX is actually doing better. So do I want to add Energy Transfer? Probably not. Now, if you don't have either one of these, do your own research. Find a stock that you like. I love MPLX. It is a buy in the quant. Wall Street has a price target of $57, which is up 4.49% from where you're trading today. And again, you have a 7.8% dividend. I bought this in 2020 based on them keeping that dividend payout. And when you look at a 5-year chart of this, even though Energy Transfer beats it, I am perfectly happy. But remember, Energy Transfer has its owner and one of the directors buying hundreds of millions of dollars of stock at a price today. And he's sitting there collecting 7% dividends, 7.6%. Again, that's better than a bond if you can just keep it at $17 and get 7.6% and guarantee yourself a portion of your portfolio is going to pay 7%. It's probably not a bad thing. It is a hold in the quant. So you have to make the determination. I particularly like MPLX. So there's a good way to look at things. You'll have to look at those yourself to make your own determination. But when I read something like that, it's undervalued, I immediately go and say, hey, do I have something in my portfolio that's similar? And the answer is yes. And then I was watching YouTube yesterday, okay? I found this guy. This is a guy, he doubled his money from May to December, and that's his portfolio you can see on the left. That's the portfolio that doubled, okay? Things I found amazing with this dude. The guy looks like my parents, everybody in the 55 and older community that's kind of dying off. He's got a Discord. He's got a granddaughter that's 25 years old. He's 80. He's got a Discord. I don't even know how to log into Discord. Kudos to this guy. Now, with that said, he's doubling his money. Like I said, that portfolio has done really, really well over the year. Now, do I own APLD? No. Do I own Micron? Yes. Do I own SkyT? No. Credo, Google, Taiwan Semi. I do own Credo and Google. I do own IREN, and I do own Nebius. So I own a good portion of this. Did I double my portfolio last year? No. Why? Allocation size. Those are all smaller portions of my portfolio. They're not as large. Apple is 50% of my portfolio. With that kind of allocation, there's no way I would have doubled. So I wanted to save time in this, and I asked Gemini. And it's funny, I typed this in, that I asked Gemini, what are the top 10 stocks for 2026 as displayed in his presentation? And it goes over and tells me. And he mentions, and it tries to tell me, hey, here are the ones that he's going to put. Gemini got it wrong. When he puts up his 2026 stocks over here, Gemini got it wrong. And not only did Gemini get it wrong, he got it wrong. Because there is no stock RBRA. Okay? There's no stock named RBRA. So I had to go in and I had to do it. Now, I gave you all of the stocks that he did. QXO, Galaxy, CLS, Celestica, AMPX, Credo, CoreWeave. Credo he's got in there again this year. Mara. And the RBRA was probably RBRK rubric, which I actually like. And he's got AMD and he's got Microsoft. Kudos to this guy. He's using AI. He's got his agents. I probably would not. I looked at his paid version. Probably wouldn't join. Not my cup of tea. I watched some of their videos. I wasn't overly impressed. But what I did do was I went over here and I built the portfolio. So I built his 2026 stocks in a portfolio. And I bought them, one share of each one. So the total change yesterday, it was up 1.77%. But I can use the quant to say, ooh, Credo, great stock. Celestica, great stock. Galaxy, great stock. They are all strong buys in the quant. Year to date, they're up 12, 11, and 19%. AMD, strong buy, 4.71. It's up 3% year to date. Microsoft, not a strong buy. Ampex, not a strong buy. Rubrik, not a strong buy. QXO, not a strong buy. CoreWeave isn't covered because it hasn't been a stock for a year. But year to date, this one's up 22%. Mara's up 21%. QXO is up 30%. So the quant isn't always perfect. And he's got a good level of 10 stocks here that could outperform the market. So I want to have them on a watch list. Again, watch lists and the ability to organize yourself, that's part of the benefit here of seeking alpha. I am able to have it all in one place. You see all the watch lists that I have. I have a ton of them. Mag 7 year to date, your best performer so far is Google. It was the best performer last year of the Mag 7. Okay, over 6 months, look at how Google is outpacing the entire market. Now, Netflix, by far the worst over the last 6 months. Does this one come back? I think Amazon has a very good chance this year of actually outpacing all of these. Again, I went over Amazon with those horizontal lines. I like that stock. So let's go back. We're going to close that one. And we're going to go to my crypto list, because here I do have Bitcoin and crypto. And I want to point something out to you. I want to look at Bitcoin first, because we're going to go to a weekly chart. And if you haven't been paying attention to Bitcoin, it has been not flying, but it's been going up. And I want to just pull this down, because when you see the RSI, okay, I've highlighted the last 3 times that the RSI really got below the 50 mark. Because you got down to 40, 36, 37. I think the low here back in November was 35, meaning RSI. Go and Google it. Go and learn it. Relative Strength Index. A 30 score means that many people are selling versus people buying. The buyers aren't showing up. Then you look at the MACD and you say, wow, the last time the MACD got this low, Bitcoin was at 20,000. It ran all the way up to 120,000 the last time it was this low on the RSI and the MACD. Is this a time to buy? Could be. Again, when other people are fearful, you become greedy. It doesn't look fantastic on a weekly. It looks like it's starting to turn around. This could go sideways for a much longer time. I like it. And then you go look at Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum, I have my favorite ETFs in these. But when you look at Ethereum and you pull up a weekly, okay, the 4-hour algorithm, it does okay on this kind of stuff on ETHA and IBIT. But when you look at Ethereum, it has hit that 4,200. What? One time in May of 2021, 2 times in November 2022, 3 times in February 2024, then in June and May of 2024, then in December of 2024, and last year in August, it went finally above that line. Held it for a little bit until October, and then we started to sink. What does this mean to me? For me, as somebody who could take some money and put it into a YOLO, I want to start buying here. Why? The RSI is low enough. The MACD is low enough. And at some point in time, it has been shown by history, rinse and repeat, that this one can go above that, actually up to 4,200. So if I buy at 33, what do I care if it goes down? I can buy more, but it does show like, now it's never guaranteed. Never guaranteed. But again, a crypto portion of your portfolio makes sense to me. So I have it. Now, let's talk about some earnings. I'm going to bring up Bank of America. Bank of America, a strong buy in the quant. It beat earnings. Now, this was up in pre-market. It has come back. I don't know why. They beat earnings. It was a good earnings period. I'll give you my take on this one. The 4-hour algorithm had you out with a 4% gain. This is one, for me, I like to hold on to this one. Now, I do know that it's a $50 stock. I think we need to pull back from 54 to 50. I trimmed at, I think, 52 or something on the way up because of this pullback in November. I trimmed. Did I do the right thing? Maybe, maybe not. But Bank of America, solid. Again, a strong buy in the quant. Then Citigroup. If we look at Citigroup here, 4-hour algorithm gets you out today at a 15% gain. Now, when you look at Citigroup, they reported earnings. Citigroup earnings beat, helped by investment banking. This is the #1 stock from Mike Mayo, who is a bank analyst with, I think, Bank of America or something now. I don't know which firm he's at. But again, 4-hour algorithm has you in at 101. Got you out with a 15% gain. Did you want to hold through earnings? They actually beat and went up. What's the Wall Street price target on this one? It is 131, a 13% upside. The book value on this one, if you just broke this one up, the book value on a bank is larger than its actual share price. Again, a good stock. Wells Fargo. Let me just look at my notes on here. Let's see. We're going to go down here to these ones. Wells Fargo. There we go. Citigroup, the top 2026 stocks from bank analyst Mike Mayo. 4-hour algorithm still has you in a solid run up. It wins 57% of the time over the last 24 months. Has you in around 100. It's at 117 before earnings. A solid gain if you didn't want to hold through earnings. Citigroup in the 4-hour algorithm back test well. Now let's talk about Wells Fargo. Okay, Wells Fargo is a stock that I hold, an alpha pick stock that I own in a big way. If you were managing this against the 4-hour algorithm, we'll bring up the 4-hour algorithm. If you were managing this against the 4-hour algorithm, you would probably want to get out. Why? Well, the 4-hour algorithm, it doesn't beat buy and hold. It gives you some protection because you still make 57% over the last 24 months in this stock. Try and find an S&P that makes you 57% over the last 2 years. Again, it's beating the index. It wins 43% of the time. But the key point in the back test, your average win is 8.8%. And you look at the last 2 earnings announcements and you pull this back, okay? These orange lines are the earnings. This one back in April, that one shot it up. But then in July, it just kind of traded sideways. And then in October, it came right back to that 81. So at 93, where's the support level? It's probably 81. Again, it's an alpha pick, okay? And so I like this one. And I like this one on the weekly chart. And this was where I really looked to add to my positions. This goes all the way back to 2022. And if you listen to my podcast, you can go back and hear this. This is why I like these horizontal lines. Okay, I put a horizontal line here, February of 2022. Why? Either an all-time high or it pulled right back. You can see it pulled right back. Now, where did it trade up to? That's the first level of resistance. Where did it trade up to? Well, it traded up to this $49.50 point. So I wanted to buy under 50, knowing that that was the resistance level that it would go up to. Good quality bank. Again, a good quality bank that was just trying to get their stuff right. And so that's resistance. So anything that I bought under here, I could sell at that 50. But then it breaks through. And ironically, where does it see additional resistance? At the $60 range. So it saw that resistance. And where did it pull back to? The $50 range. Therefore, resistance flipped to support. Okay? Then as we got through $60, that's where you want to buy under 60. Because this provided support in April, Liberation Day. I went big in this one right here. Why? Because I saw the next candle go up. We knew that it was support. We haven't seen it pull back. Where would the next level of support be? Well, if I had to guess, it would probably be right here at this pullback level. Oh, we've gone through it again. And the support level is probably 80. So even though it's trading at 90 right now, the support level is 80. So if you pull back to 80 and you get it under 80, that's a buying opportunity. That's the way I use this stuff. And the weekly chart is just very simple and easy. Now, let's go over some of the earnings that are coming up. Taiwan Semi. This is a stock, TSM. Taiwan Semiconductor. A strong buy in the quant. We can go and look at it in the quant. It's a strong buy in the quant. Now, is this one an obvious pick? Well, I would say yes. except I know I am a Pro Quant portfolio member. I'm an affiliate of it. It is extremely expensive. You can try it out for $89. I love it because they give me the upgrades and downgrades. And that Pro Quant portfolio actually, again, just like Alpha Picks, beats the S&P, but they track it against an equal weight S&P, but it still does beat the S&P. So I look at it. But here's the thing I'm going to let you in on. The Pro Quant portfolio is very quick to react to rules-based things. And when you look at this, you can see it went to a hold here on 1-5 for 4 days. Okay, it went to a hold. The quant said, hey, we think it's a hold. Well, the Pro Quant portfolio then pulls it out of its portfolio. Their earnings are coming up tomorrow. Overnight, they will announce things. Is this one you want to hold on to? Well, we can look at the 4-hour algorithm. 4-hour algorithm had you in here at 293. The 4-hour algorithm makes you 112%. Are you happy in 2 years doubling your money? I would be. It wins 40% of the time. The average win is 15%. If I held this one, I would be in at 293. I would probably be holding through earnings. The average win is 15%. Does this guarantee you that you're going to go up? No. Your risk reward, since your average return is 15%, you're up 11%. I would say, hey, I'm taking my money and running. Even though it's a strong buy in the quant, I can always add back in because more than likely, I've been holding some shares for at least a year on this one. Because if you look at this one, it has been straight up. Yes, the weekly indicators are so stretched. Old resistance turns to new support. The horizontal lines I would put in here is probably right here at 311. I would say if you pull back, it's 311. So I'd be probably taking profits in this one. Again, you're at all-time highs. For me, probably the risk doesn't outweigh the reward. Now, I want to tell you a stock that's reporting tomorrow that I do own in a big way. It's not 50% of my portfolio, but it's a good amount. Goldman Sachs. I own this one. I hold this stock in a big way. It's over the Wall Street price target. We can look at it. It's a hold in the quant. Am I worried about this one? No. It seems stretched. Right now, the Wall Street price target is 4% down from where it's trading today. Am I comfortable with that? No. But I know that that's probably a support level. We can go and look at it in the 4-hour algorithm, 928. Do I like that, hey, the last buy on this one was at 799 and I'm up 18% if I use the 4-hour algorithm and the average win is 10%? No. It makes sense to trim. But we can take a look at this, okay? This was a very simple purchase for me. This was, I hadn't owned this before April of this year. A very simple line told me to buy. The old high right here, November 2021, where it pulled back to. I didn't buy at these lows. I didn't buy when it broke through there. I didn't buy when it pulled back in August. I did buy when it pulled back in March and April. I made a huge buy, 6 figures in this one, and I'm sitting there and holding it. Now, the MACD, incredibly stretched. The RSI, incredibly stretched. And yes, prior to earnings, probably today, I am trimming some of this. I don't like the valuation of this one. I don't like that Wall Street says that it's got a lower price, but it is one of the big banks. And I think I hold this one, by the way, the part of the reason I will be trimming it is I hold it in a retirement account. And that's a big differentiator for me. Because if I had this in a brokerage account and I bought it in April of last year, and I've got to look at which account it's in. But if I bought this in April of last year, I would want to hold it for a year. Why? Long-term capital gains. It is a huge gain that I will take if I even start to trim this one. You know, if I trim 50% of this at 930 and it pulls back to potentially this 820, I can always buy it back at 820. So nothing says that you can't buy this stuff back. It's a very easy system that I have, not difficult whatsoever. And if you want to take a look at some of the ones, you know, we talk about gold, we talk about silver, we talk about all those. Miners are like leveraged against the metals. And Newmont, Freeport McMoran, these are the top quant stocks. Again, rinse and repeat. So if you have any questions, again, remember, Trendspider will be on sale tomorrow. You can go and check out the price. If I don't do a show on Friday, you can go and check out the price. Premium and Alpha Picks, it is the sweet spot. You can get Pro if you'd like. One of the key things, go and check out the newsletter. It has all the charts that I went over today. It has all the instruction, all the links, everything. It has everything in this newsletter. It is one of the best newsletters that I've done because I took a ton of time on this one today. But again, remember, when we're at all-time highs, you want to take a look at your risk reward. Where's the top side? Where's the bottom side? Journal these things. Set up watch lists like I did yesterday with the best of us investors with these top ones. I've got the top 2026 stocks in a watch list. I've got the Alpha Pick stocks in a watch list. I've got watch lists out. This Grok Twitter portfolio, I update this every now and then by just asking Grok, what's the 10 stocks that are top mentioned on Twitter? And it's a way that I just use this to try and come up with watch lists. So again, the sweet spot, Premium and Alpha Picks and Trendspider together. If you have any questions, even my email address is on Linktree. The newsletter is free. So sign up for the newsletter. Let us help you grow. Now enjoy the song. I will talk to you later. Bye. Why do people clean before their housekeeper? It's because housekeeper's doing a freaking hard job. However you can, empathy, Travis. Because we have empathy. They do a very hard job. And, that was a long podcast, I think. But I've got the newsletter done, so that's the good news. And I've got the even the thumbnail done. So it shouldn't take me long. Do. Let's trim this. And let's see. Copy. I should put in the keyboard sounds to annoy everybody again. I got a lot of sales off those keyboards. I got to tell you, the keyboard sounds, that got a lot of people to buy for some reason. Don't ask me why, but more people bought than on that day. Export file. Next. Save. Thanks, Larry. I thought that was a good one. That was definitely, like I said, free folks. I think you'll enjoy the podcast more this year, mainly because I'm going to be able to go into more detail on that kind of stuff. I'm not stressed about, okay, I shouldn't mention this today. I shouldn't mention this tomorrow. It's going to be a little deeper. So I think that people will enjoy it a little bit more. Hopefully that's the case. But we'll see. We will see. I mean, people just like to complain. Again, how you complain about Alpha Picks, I will never know. I will never know how you complain about that portfolio. And yeah, that Best of Us, he does some, Scott, what bothered me about them, none of them have personality. B, I checked out the YouTube channel, and I always like to go back a few years on the YouTube channel. just to see what all of them have done in the past. And that guy who's 80, I mean, kudos to him. He did really well. I don't know. I mean, he was a real estate agent and very kind of glossy and showy and kind of pointed me towards the I'll take your money whenever I can kind of guy. And I know I'm an affiliate, but man, I would much rather make my money. I'd much rather than people buying my newsletter or paying me, I'd rather you get the tools and just listen to my podcast and figure out how to use them yourself. Because again, I don't want people subscribing to my newsletter for 15, 20 years. I want you subscribing to my newsletter for like a year, maybe 2. And then, I'm like the mother goose. On your way, little one, on your way. And by the way, Travis, my house is probably, my housekeeper says she barely has to work when she comes to my house, because it's so clean. But I think she's very nice. Oh, did this finish already? I guess it did. Oh. No, okay. That's why it did it. Ugh. Mother effer. Why did it export that? It just exported one little piece. 8 minutes. Man, this Mac Mini is so good. ASML. God, I miss out on a lot of these. Oh, I see a dog coming in. That must mean that Miss Maya went upstairs. So what's interesting about this one, I have a trend line in here. Most likely it's a weekly trend line. Yeah. So we've been on that trend line. It looks like you passed right through it. But I would expect that to get up there. I mean, you broke that trend line, so it's hard to get back to it. But good God. Again, horizontal line at 875. You didn't use it. Used it as support right there. But if I were looking at a new line to put in, I'd probably put it I'd probably use this one at 1100. I'd use that as my top, probably 1477. You haven't touched, I mean, this one. Let's put in a new trend line. If we were to just that's probably a decent trend line. Let's see how it looks in the 4 hour. Wah, wah. Oh. Ugh. I need to start doing shit like that. I really do. This is gonna fail. By the way, there's a lot crashing. There's a lot of red in the market. Bank of America's down 3%. That's just crazy to me. Okay, it didn't put the trend line on there. That's not a bad strategy. Again, if you're adding to your winners, Larry, there we go. There's the trend line. Anchored there. That's a pretty good trend line, to be honest with you. I mean, I'd be probably using the trend line to buy under it. You can see right now the price explorer thinks that it's going to go there and then just crash down. Let's see, ASML. What does Wall Street think? Yeah. I mean, 25 up, 2 down, 20 up. The revenue is going to be the issue, but I don't know. I mean, for me, kicking myself. Is that one up again? Shit, Travis, I told you. I cut half my position in this. It's ranked number 1 out of 18 in the electronic manufacturing services. There wasn't even news yesterday. Oh, I guess they did. After the company forecasts strong long-term revenue and earnings growth, I can disclose here that over the coming 3 years, every year we will grow between 15 and 20% top line, and we will double our earnings from 2025 to 2020. Ugh. Wow. Wow. I mean, that just kind of points to, I mean, that there's going to be so much analyst. It's only a $9 billion company. I mean, what's Celestica? Celestica, $37 billion company. And they're growing at, let's see, 22. Let's look at Celestica versus TTMI. Do Coharza. We'll look at that one too. Okay. Let's compare them. TTMI. We're gonna put that right next to Celestica. There we go. 37 billion, 9 billion. Employees about the same. Enterprise value. Cohere is about the same. Let's look at total return. I mean, Celestica is just blowing everybody else away. Just blowing everyone away. But with TTMI, do they come up to meet Celestica? Interesting. I mean, they're all 4 strong buys from the quant. They all have very similar profitability. Celestica just has the best. Celestica and Credo. Return wise, that's why Celestica is so much better, is because Credo wasn't around in 5 years ago. That's interesting. Valuation, TTMI is just cheaper. TTMI and Cohere are just cheaper. Revenue growth, I mean, look at Credo, 224% year over year. And Steve said it on Investing Experts. He basically said, I have no idea why Credo's doing anything except for gangbusters. Now, it's not in this year's top picks, which I thought was funny. Is it in that? Let me see. Is it in the? Did this guy pick Credo as one of his top stocks? He did. Credo. So I did too. I took them for a loss. I tax loss harvested half the position, but it was like a 4% or 5% loss. It just didn't look like it was going anywhere. I didn't understand. I didn't read the full description in Alpha Picks. So yeah, it's one of the Google kind of winners. So no, I just, for me, it just, I mean, look, Cleveland Cliffs is up 1.64%. 1337 buy. IBIT, I went over that one. That's up 2.3%. MPLX up 1%. I mean, that's just continuing to soar. Roblox, buying the 4-hour algorithm, up another 1.3%. Exxon, I had Exxon as a forethought mention like an afterthought mention in here. This one's just taken off. That's just taken off. 9% in 22 days. Whew. I mean, oil. Let me see. I gotta pull up just make sure that this video's right. Wow, the purple behind me looks bad with my interesting. Okay, let's quit this. We will go into select file, desktop. We're gonna upload this to Spotfiy. Then I've got to open up Spotfiy and get all of the episodes. It is funny. I am getting such high, almost twice the amount of people listening to each episode. There we go. Episode summary. Okay, and the episode title. Oh, no. Wait, we're going back to upload. Oh, come on. Keep uploading. Oh, I screwed that up. I'm gonna wait a few minutes. Okay. Copy. Boom. GLXY. That's an interesting one. I mean, I like it. The dip here, 24 to 27, and you've got this bounce up. It's going to trade with Bitcoin. And it hasn't been out enough that I don't have enough weekly information on this to kind of look at a chart. And the 4-hour, the 4-hour has 8 positions and it makes 57% versus 10%. So, yeah, Cam, I went over crypto. Ugh. Let me see episodes. There we go. No. No, we're going to close this. Cancel upload. Okay. Select file. We'll select it again. Oh, no. Now I've got to redo everything. copy. I need to be a little bit more careful. I hate when I mess up. Do 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 do. Where is the? There we go. Copy, and then alpha picks. And then I think I've got the oh no, I didn't download it. Oh, let me go and download Canva, the thumbnail. Your designs. We'll open it up. Let's share. Download. There we go. And then downloads, minimalist, shocking. That's the name of that one. And it's 13%. And let me just copy. And we'll put this up here. And we're going to get Trendspider affiliate. Copy. And Seeking Alpha bundle. Copy. And Alpha picks. Copy. And Seeking Alpha Premium. And Seeking Alpha Pro. And episode summary. We're all set. Everything's in there. Upload file. Daily podcast recordings. Oh, I do need to go to the editing, select file, and that will upload. Let's see. Show more, paid promotion, altered content, no. We will go to monetization on, and import from video, and YouTube is done. Publish. Boom. Uploading, and then this one's still uploading at 20. Wow, 15 minutes remaining. Jesus. How many minutes here? Yeah, it's uploading kind of slow today. I do need to resize this to Instagram post. Copy and resize, and this is gonna fuck up a lot, I think. Yeah. can I? No. That's not going to work. Edit. Let's magic grab. Grab. And we'll take this and position. And upload. Let's see. We're going to take this and edit. Magic eraser. We'll shrink this down. Okay, erase. Let's see how this works. Oh. We're just going to do our best here. Erase. There we go. And we'll close that down. And we will, let's see, edit. Let's do magic grab. Grab. It's gonna fuck up the wording. No, okay. Sweet. And we'll do edit. Magic grab, let's see. There we go. Grab. Hopefully this doesn't mess up the Oh, let's just shrink this down to this. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, let me see if this one's down. That's still 39%. Jesus. Light. Light is interesting. Light is interesting because that's the one that I know Google is so in that Google ecosystem. The only thing you have to worry about is that weekly. And that's what I worry about. I think it's still a strong buy. Yeah, it's still a strong buy. I'm still number 1 out of 38 in the communications equipment space. Let's just take that. Let's just take that out and we'll just put in text. Top 2026 stocks. And text color. Let's see. Move that. Yellow. Boy, that looks bad. Let's just delete that. Let's put orange. Top. We'll use that. What the hell? Doesn't look anything like that, but oh well. I can't grab the... We'll close that. Uploading 97%. This is still at 52. Ooh. Let's see. Let's see where we could put a light right now. I mean, that weekly is so stretched. I mean, that low right there, 300, which would put you at about the average price target. Nobody's bringing their revenue down. So it probably just needs a quote unquote reset of valuation, I would think. I mean, it's got 17% short interest. So make no mistake, part of that run is the short. Its peg ratio is only 1, the forward one. Let's see. Competition from several key players in the optical space. Sector metrics, like extremely stretched. PE 193 is significantly higher than 32. Impressive growth with revenue growth of 36%, far exceeding the sector at 8%. Mixed with a net income margin of 6%. Momentum is outstanding. Revisions are highly positive. Concerns, there's no positives from Seeking Alpha analysts. Two major customers account for 43% of its revenue. The company trades at a high valuation. Lumenton faces competition pressure from alternative solutions using continuous wave lasers and silicon. I mean, that's way out of my pay grade on that one. I don't know. I don't own it. I love it as part of a watch list. I would say when the RSI, I mean, let's just look at the history. When the RSI is down below the 50 mark, I don't think it's a bad place to start historically, bad to start a position. But that weekly right there, stocks don't go up forever unless you're Palantir. Even Palantir, I mean, Palantir at that 180 level right now is just kind of going sideways. And the 160 is kind of the place to buy. Back in November, back in September. But that weekly is still, I mean, this would be what I would think light would look like in the future. Is just a big kind of arch that may come down. But they're in the Google ecosystem. So, I mean, that's a very kind of good thing. Are you feeling better? Not saved. Why is this not saved? Hold on, I gotta go over here and... Dashboard. Alpha picks. It's processing. Oh, because it's processing it. Okay. But it's saved. I think the whole newsletter's saved, so. Yeah. The newsletter's pretty much done. Generating preview. Sweet. Let's see. I actually own VRT. I think I told folks that. I think I got in at that 160 level. I think I may bought it at 170. Hold on, I'll tell you. I can look it up. While I'm waiting for all this shit to go. I'm sure I'm down today quite a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I'm down. Poof. But, I mean, the NASDAQ is down 0.90. I'm down 0.56. None of my portfolios, my Alpha Picks portfolio is down 1.34. Let's see. I own this one in my brokerage, I think. Yeah, VRT. VRT is... I am down 1% on VRT. I bought at 174. So... I bought at 174. By the way, if you need me for a meeting, I can jump off. Maya. Okay, I'm going to head out. You guys have a great day. See you guys.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.